The Rock Metal Podcast, episode 109 with Apparition. Rock Metal Nation, what is up? This is John from the Rock Metal Podcast. That sample you just heard was The Dames of Darkness by Apparition, who I've got on the show with me right now. They're a female-fronted metal band from the UK. We're going to be listening to that song, as well as one other, while finding out more information about the band. Fiona, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Great to have you on. Let's go listen back to that track, The Dames of Darkness. All right, coming back from the Days of Darkness, what I love is the piano intro that breaks into those heavy guitars while continuing the piano. I like that. Like, the piano didn't go away.
Yeah.
And then we chill right into the verse with that synth pad. I really dig it.
Cool. That was actually inspiration from our bassist David Homer, who came up with that idea and the piano melody. So he had a little bit of a vision about that and decided to pull that together. And we really liked that burst of energy when the guitars kick in. So we were quite happy when he came up with that suggestion.
Yeah, and actually, one of my questions I was going to ask is, aside from general inspiration, what's the story behind the Dames of Darkness, or maybe what inspired the song, the Dames of Darkness?
Well, the Dames of Darkness song on the album is one of the songs that David was most involved in writing. Pretty much on the album, he did a couple of songs. And this particular song he describes as being inspired by friendship and help. And in his mind, when he first came up with the idea, he had this narrative, was really quite creative, of otherworldly beings who were sort of given this sort of, I'd say, in the way he described it, a really bad reputation from the people who inhabited this world as evil beings and people to be feared, almost like witches or that kind of thing. And they were actually accused of kidnapping children from the world that they lived in. And it was a whole misunderstanding, because what they were really doing was trying to save the children, because they knew that world was going to be destroyed. So it was quite an interesting tale in a way. So it became of actually, we're really here to help you and we're going to fight by your side, but you actually don't realise that to start with. So it was quite an interesting idea of this whole world and these beings and this whole story and folklore and tale. But he said it was really all about coming down to that sense of friendship and wanting to help out your fellow person. And the festival that David is very involved in running is called the Dames of Darkness Festival, and it's a female-fronted metal festival in the UK. And it's been running for 10 years now, and David's done a very good job of growing that festival and creating a really nice network of people and bands coming up from all over Europe to come and play at the festival. And that was quite the inspiration and the song title, of course, because he built some really great friendships we all have through that festival. And there's a real great sense of support and community and really helping to promote metal music and to really get a great platform for people to showcase their work and for new bands to come through and to actually, play a larger venue with a bigger audience than perhaps maybe they could do in their own local areas. So it's all a combination of this idea, this little fantasy tale, and also the sort of essence of the festival, really.
So do people come to the festival and kidnap children?
Of course not, no. I think some people have brought their children along to watch. I think because it's a day festival and it sort of goes into the night. But yeah, it was sort of that essence of people actually being saved, and and I think that the lyric in one of the earlier parts of the song, I think it's the bridge, are we the reason why you hear the children scream? Well, actually, we're not the reason. We're actually saving them, because we're going to save your world and fight with you when the bad people come. So it's that kind of idea of misrepresentation and misunderstanding, and how people can sometimes judge a book by its cover because they were known to be sort of witches and evil sort of folk. Well, actually, they're actually good-hearted people who want to help. So I think many people have probably been in that situation where they've been misjudged. So and found actually in the end you became great friends. So I think it's really that sort of essence.
Being accused of witchcraft is probably my least favorite pastime.
I think a lot of people would agree.
Now, there is a lyric video for the Dames of Darkness, correct?
Yes, there is.
Cool. So I was just going to ask, obviously sometimes a lyric video is just that, just a lyric video, but I always like to ask if there was any kind of creative spin or what kind of ideas or inspiration went into the crafting of the lyric video.
Well, essentially it was the essence of that tale of sort of folklore and witchcraft and the sort of representation of the artwork. For instance, in the CD inlay, there is a sort of depiction of a scene where some women who could be sort of assumed as dressed as witches, I suppose, just with long gowns on, are looking down towards a community. And there's a whole big skyscape of fire behind them, and there's a torch in the air, and sort of almost like a Watchmen type scene. So they're sort of looking and watching and of this whole town. So that was sort of a little bit part of the lyric video as it was created. So the artwork, we try to feature the artwork from the CD inlay in the lyric video itself. And Paul Cully, or Cull as we sort of call him in the band, he's very instrumental to our artwork, but also our lyric videos. He created them, and he's very talented in his work. And he wanted to have something that was a little bit more interesting than just a sort of background screen with just some words coming. But there's only so much you can do with lyric videos when you want to have the words as the main focus as the song goes through. But he had the idea of filming our other guitarist, Amy, who was playing the solo in that particular song, and filming her playing. And we thought that added a nice break in the middle of the song. And then we sort of discussed the idea of having some photos of us so we could actually feature in the video as well. So there are a few photos that move around during the solo when there's no lyrics to sort of take central stage. So yeah, it was a really nice video, and Paul wanted to create a sense of something that was a little bit more atmospheric than a sort of standard flat lyric video. So it has a little bit more layer into it to try and give an essence of what the song is all about, really.
Beautiful. So Rock Metal Nation, if you dug the track, The Dames of Darkness, if you go ahead and go to today's show notes, that's www.therockmetalpodcast.ca, you can go and see the Dames of Darkness lyric video, and then also as well, for a bonus, there's going to be a video for the album sampler, if you're curious to hear what the rest of the album sounds like. Now, obviously, we're going to go into the next track here, so you get a better idea as well. Let's go listen to the next track, The Other Side.
Spirits drifting through the night, always there, just out of sight. The distant echoes of the past, a fleeting touch that never lost. Close your eyes and see the
Coming back from the other side, definitely dig the symphonic intro. Similar question for you. What's the story or inspiration behind the track?
Well, the other side is actually a song that was very much inspired by Cull. He was a central writer on that song and really gave it some essence. We actually began working with that song quite some years ago, actually, in its earliest forms, he and I. And we worked together to really structure the song and wanted to have a real sense of atmospheric and ethereal feel to it. So that's why we played quite a lot with different effects and had that more gentle intro. And then we wanted some power and energy to the rest of the song. And Cull's original idea for that song is all about people that have departed this earth and moved into the other side, so to speak. So it's really about the afterlife, I suppose, or some kind of afterlife. He's never really made it quite clear as to what that might be, but it's that sense of that they're all around us. These ghosts, these people that have passed away, are still with us in some way, but they're just slightly out of reach in that sense. But we know they're kind of there. So we wanted to have that atmospheric sound that goes along with that sort of sense of haunting, or not so much haunting in a bad way, but actually in quite a nice way, quite a positive song in a way. And when we were recording the song in the studio in Poland, we the other guys like David, Amy, and Ash had really quite enjoyed the way the song kicks in, and probably made it a little bit more heavier than originally it had been, which actually turned out quite well. And we were very pleased with the song in its final form. And it really had a good sense of passion and spirit and energy coming through the song. And we spent some time on the middle part of the song creating a very atmospheric sound to really kick back in again, because we like to have that impact and that power, really.
Yeah, absolutely. And what exciting news do you guys have coming up for Rock Metal Nation to pay attention to?
Well, the biggest news for us is, of course, the album release on the 2nd of February. I'm very excited about that. So that's going to be almost the worldwide release, except for Japan, which will be happening at the end of March. But it'll be available worldwide across every area to buy through Oral Music web store, as well as various digital platforms, of which we'll be sharing on our website and our Facebook page. But yeah, we're very excited for that coming along, and we're looking forward to the reception, really, so we can gauge how the album's being received and look at how we can share that, and we can I think we're mostly just looking forward to hearing people's reactions and feeling excited about already those that have heard parts of the album, or the songs that you've been playing here tonight. I really seem quite excited about what they've heard. So I think that's the main thing for us, is to gauge that response and to enjoy it.
Absolutely. Now, Fiona, for Rock Metal Nation listening in right now, who absolutely dug the two tracks, The Dames of Darkness, The Other Side, they're probably listening to the album sampler right now with their left ear while listening to us with their right ear. I don't even know if it's possible, but what is, or how can they find out more about you? As you mentioned, a website and a Facebook page.
Yeah, you can find our website at apparitionmusic.co.uk. And that includes all of the links to all relevant lyric videos, as well as some great photos, visual photos, of course, but also some photos of us behind the scenes making the album in the Hertz studio in Poland. And we've got information about the album's narrative and how it was constructed, as well as our bio and our history. And you can, really have a good look around that and find out some interesting things about the band, including different things about each band member. And there's lots of information about each of us and what we do, and the other things that we're involved in too, because some of us play in other bands. So you can check out that as well. And our Facebook page is quite easy to find. So on Facebook, it's just Apparition Band, and you can check that out and have a look around all of our news and our latest updates and gig photos and all sorts of things.
Beautiful. Well, Fiona, unless there's anything else you wanted to throw out there, I just wanted to thank you for taking time out of your day to come onto the Rock Metal Podcast and sharing Apparition with Rock Metal Nation.
Thank you very much, and I hope everyone enjoys what they hear, and we'd love to see you at a show one day.
All right. right, Rock Metal Nation. Hopefully you just found your new favorite band in Apparition. Big thanks again to them for coming on and sharing their music with us. Make sure to head over to www.therockmetalpodcast.ca to get all the information on the show you just heard today. And until then, rock on, Rock Metal Nation.
Stop it, Dad.